Knows Best.
Hi, friends, and welcome back to Brenna Knows Best. I'm your host, Brenna Berg. Hi, how are you guys? Happy Friday. Carter just left the apartment. He's going to the gym. He's working from home today, but he was laughing at us. Like, obviously, I sit in my bed. I have May next to me. You guys can't see her right now. And I have my laptop. Like, it's definitely not a professional setup. And he was dying laughing. He's like, this is what you do every time you film? I said, yes. Not like film, but film the podcast. I'm like, this is it. He's like, we need to so badly get you a filming space. And then he just left. But before he left, he said, hey girls. He always tries to like mock me. Not mock me. That's not correct. But like he tries to act like he knows what I do. Like anytime we're talking about something and he thinks of like a video idea, he's like, hey girls. Like he thinks that's how I start my videos, which actually... We were walking on the Katy Trail the other day, and on the red part, like the track part, I've explained this 100 times, but there's a cement side with like, I guess you would call that similar to how there are striped lines in a road. Why am I blanking on what's that is called? Not what's that is called, what that is called. Just like the thing between the lanes, you know, the painted lines, those are on the cement because you can walk both ways and bikers. And then next to it, there's like a grass patch in between these two paths. There's the red kind of path. Oh my gosh. Wait, you guys, I'm so sorry. My manager just messaged me because literally all of these things just happened right now. I'm literally dead. I went downstairs, I had a package and I open up the Amazon package locker. What happens is I get an email with the code and our apartment has one of these Amazon packages, but it's not only used for Amazon, it's used for all packages. And I open it up and of course I get a lot of PR. Well, not a lot, but like I would say once a day, every couple of days, it ebbs and flows. But Amazon Prime Day is happening and therefore I feel like I've been getting a lot more recently. But I go down there and I open it up and it's a FedEx package and it's like a soft, typically everything's in like a box, like a cardboard box. Well, this is like a, you know, crinkly, like I can feel what's in it. And I'm like not really understanding what's in it when I grab it, but it says urgent. It says like extremely urgent or open urgently. And the only times I've gotten packages like this is, for example, like the Burt's Bees ad I did a while back. I had that shipped. Like, I think the deliverables were due like very shortly after I signed the contract and they like, you know, overnighted the package. And I don't have any ads coming up, which we'll also talk about in a little bit. I feel like I've been ad central and I want to apologize, but I don't have anything coming up. And I'm like, what would need to be sent urgently? And then I'm like, is it my family? Like, who sent this? But typically, you know, I'm getting stuff from brands. Well, I open it up, okay, and I'm feeling it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And if you don't know what a Labubu is at this point, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what it is. The Labubu trend has been happening. Basically, it's a beanie baggy, baby, not baggy, baby. Did we have those? Like a little stuffed animal with a clip that girls are putting on their purse. They're literally heinous. They're ugly. They're disgusting. But it become a trend somehow. Brenna, become... I am so sorry. Whenever Carter is here working and I have a limited time to film, I'm like, I need to chill. I have like 2 hours. However, it's become a trend and it's become so much of a trend that now they're like hundreds of dollars. You guys, it's like a tiny little beanie baby. Like essentially that's all it is. They're now going for hundreds of dollars. But anywho, I actually last weekend when I met with my friend Elisa, we went to La La Land. I think I discussed this. She was like, please don't tell me that you've gotten a Labubu. Like that shit is so stupid. I'm like, first of all, I'm the last person. Like I don't even follow trends when they're happening, let alone like a stupid ass trend. Like no offense to anybody out there who's gotten one. No offense, it's just not my jam. Well, anyways, I opened this package and it's like not a Labubu. It's definitely like an off-brand, but you guys, it's like this ugly little stuffed, not even an animal, like it's a character. It looks like a minion. Like I don't even know what it is. Its teeth are showing, its eyes. And I sent my manager, I'm like, Jillian, I'm dying because did you send this? Like, there are things when PR happens. For example, back in the day, like brands would reach out. Now, Jillian gets all of my emails and I don't know what she's signing me up for and whatnot. And typically I would say she'll send me the link or she'll like ask me, do you want anything from these people or those people? But still, I'm sure there are just generic, like the Lola blanket that I got. I think the DBA, because it was a collab with the DBA girl, I just got put on this PR list. And if it's probably a nice brand, like I'm sure they just say yes. I don't know how that works. But I just texted her and I said, Jillian, I'm dying. This thing is ugly as hell. It said extremely urgent. Like I needed this today. I'll post a photo on my Instagram, y'all. It is literally so ugly. Like it is disgusting. It's scary. It's creepy. And she's like, Brenna, I don't have an email from them. The brand is like Fugler. Literally, you guys like Fugly, but I think it's Fuggler. And it's a brand and they sent a little card too. Like it's definitely a PR-ish package. It's like, thanks for supporting, which like I didn't support you guys, but they're like, here's we wanted to send for, supporting the brand or something. I've never heard of this. I don't even know what that is. Anywho, she's just sent me an audio message and the only part I can read so far, holy shit, I'm sorry you guys. Brenna, I'm literally dying. This is the funniest way to start my day. She's on California time, so she's 2 hours early. Oh my gosh, it's 9 a.m. and I just bombarded her with this. But she said she looked in her email and she's not seeing anything from them. She's like, also, I wouldn't have sent you that. Like, that's not something I would say, yeah, send this to Brenna. I'm like, wait, that's creepier because who sent that and how did I get it? Anywho, let me get back to where I started. Oh, the Katy Trail, the red track part. Well, somebody went on and brought chalk and wrote like these quotes, which again, you guys know me, like I to my core am like a very positive, like not shits rainbows kind of person, but like kind of like to my core. But like I hate that stuff when it's so cheesy, like signs that are like smile. I'm like, ugh. Right? You guys feel me? Well, on the trail, somebody was writing like cheesy ass quotes. Like, if nobody told you today, you look beautiful. And then they were tagging their like Instagram. I don't remember what it said, but periodically we were seeing these things. And of course, me and Carter are like, what the fuck? Like, that is so lame. Maybe we are pessimistic. I don't know. But Carter was like, you should write dump your shitty boyfriend at Brenna Berg, because I started talking about it. I'm like, it's great marketing. Like, I kind of want to look this up. Like, who is this that's doing this? And then Carter came up with the idea. And then I thought about it and I'm like, there are so many people, really just men, who stumble across my page that are like, oh my gosh, you have a man. He probably hates you. He needs to get out while he can. I'm like, actually, Carter is the idea behind a lot of my videos as well. Like, we discussed all of this. But anywho, let's jump into the week. Y'all, I hope you had the best 4th of July. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, man who gave that right. I always say man and it's meant, oh, and Toby Keith. We'll put a boot in your ass and sing, hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of. Toby Keith is actually like a real one. And when I think of Toby Keith, this is really kind of messed up. I went to a Toby Keith concert in college in Fargo, North Dakota with my best friend at the time, Cassidy. And we ran into this guy who was from my hometown. He went to a private school. Therefore, he was like, part of the rich preppy crowd, but he was cool. We saw him and a bunch of people and I hadn't seen them in a long time. The week after, this guy, now I'm forgetting his name. His girlfriend, I know her name. I'm obviously not going to say it. He went to school 45 hours minutes north of NDSU. There's NDSU and there's UND, right? He was drunk the very next week and tried to jump on a literal Amtrak train, or was on it, and it started. Y'all, he got ran over, arm and leg gone. And I don't know why. Well, this is why, because when I think of Toby Keith, I think of running into him because it was the first time I'd seen him. And the very next week, I remember my friends telling me like this happened. There was like this article in the paper that this guy that I literally saw the week prior got ran over by a train. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope he's doing okay. He lived. And him and his girlfriend, I cannot even imagine. I think she was going to like medical school or wanted to, but now her boyfriend, and they had been together since like 8th grade because everybody in North Dakota has been together since like the 8th grade. I'm like, dang, you now have, I think they got married, a husband, which like, hello, it happened, it's whatever, but like no arm and no leg. Like I can't even imagine what that's like for him, like how managing that is. Oh my gosh. Anywho, Toby Keith, everybody. That's so morbid, but I literally think of him every single time and I hate that. But 4th of July, we leave Dallas Tuesday morning. I wake up at 5 a.m., y'all. I literally wake up at 5 a.m. and I have a text and an email from Delta and they said, delayed until 12. We were going to leave for the airport, I think at 6 a.m. Our flight was like at 8. We wake up, or I wake up at 5. I think Carter was going to get up at like 5:15 and our flight is delayed to like 11:47. I obviously wake Carter up, or I wait till 5:15. I'm like, babe, don't rush to get up. We're already delayed like 4 hours. And he's like, what the heck? And actually I kind of liked it because then I got to go on a walk. We got to have breakfast and then we moseyed on over to the airport. Well, we have traveled with Maydog a million times at this point, mostly American. We have flown Delta, we have flown Southwest, everybody, and it's never been a problem. You know, she is on the cusp of the weight limit. The only airline that has weight limits, though, are American. Delta and Southwest, everybody says that your dog just needs to fit in the carrier. And like there are these really elusive, like they need to be able to spin around without like pressing on the outsides. But it's like, it's a dog. Like they need to just like make it a weight limit and do that. Like if she can't come, tell me she can't come. But like if it's up to the gate attendants, like with thoughts and ideas if this dog fits or not, like that's just so annoying. We go, you have to check in at the desk prior to going through TSA. We come up and this woman's like giving us a hard time. She's like, that dog needs to be able to spin. Well, Carter gave May some of her medicine that we've gotten from the vet recently because it helps with like anxiety and stress, and it's not a painkiller, but he asked her prior because in the airport she's fine, but she does get like really kind of anxious, I would say. Like she pants really bad. Like obviously she doesn't want to be in this little bag. There's so many people. When we sit at the gate, she's looking around. She's just like over the top. And Carter was like, he asked the vet prior if this would be a good thing or if we could give it to her prior to flight. And the vet said yes. That's like actually what it's used for. It's called gabapentin. I think humans also use this drug. Obviously dogs take a much smaller dose, but Carter gave that to her prior to going to the airport. We get there. She's like sleeping. This freaking TSA, not TSA, but the gate people, not the gate people, the desk people, like way prior, like we haven't even checked in. You know what I'm saying? They're like, she needs a spin. I'm like, May. And she's not. And like, she's giving us a hard time. And she's like telling us she's too big. And I'm like, what the fuck? We've flown with her a million times. And like, this is, again, if I hadn't had success in the past, and if you guys had like hard boundaries, I wouldn't bring her. Well, anyways, we finally get her to turn around and the girl's like, oh wow, she can. I'm like, yeah, I told you, we've done this a million times. And again, I'm not getting sassy. Of course, Carter's kind of getting worked up because he's like, what the frick are we gonna do? Drive home? Like, hello, we're bringing our dog. Then we go through, we get to the gate. There's 2 gate people, right? And we're checking in. Carter does our boarding passes because I'm holding May. And the lady's like, wait, let me ask. Like, she might be too big. I'm like, we already went through this. Like, they already let us through. You're going to stop us at the, like, what is the process? Like, what do you mean? The people already let us through and told us that she's good. We already checked her in. We have the tag. Like, you're going to stop us now as well? Like, and it's fine. And again, I'm saying this now. I'm just like, internally freaking out, but of course I'm like so nice to the people. I'm like, of course. Carter on the other hand was like trying to like kind of make a stink, like, hey, they already let us through, like what do you mean? And then she's like, wait, and I'm like, babe, just like, it's fine. Like, best case scenario, if you're polite to people, right, like they'll be nice to you. You know what I mean? Like, that's just always my philosophy. Not that Carter's ever mean, but like, he is just a very like stoic, stone-faced, like not warm person. And I feel like that can come across as like not nice, even though he's never not nice. He's just very direct. And I'm like, babe, just like, let me handle this. And the lady next to her was on the phone. And then the second she got off the phone, she's like, yeah, she's fine. Go. And I'm like, see, everything's good. Like, and he's like, they shouldn't have stopped us in the first place. I'm like, whatever. whatever. We get on, we connect in Salt Lake City. Oh my gosh. Speaking of, because obviously Salt Lake City is the land of the Mormons. I have never in my life, when we were sitting at the gate, well, of course there were missionaries going home, right? And they were sitting right in front. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting so many details. Going to Salt Lake City, Utah, obviously most of these people are probably Mormon. Maybe not most. Again, I'm like being so crazy and over the top. Like maybe that's not correct to say, but like kind of. Like the odds of half of that flight being Mormons, it's like going to North Dakota. Like of course the majority of these people are probably from North Dakota. So most of the people probably flying to Salt Lake, of course there are connections. Of course people just do business there. But like I have never in my life, we were sitting outside of boarding the plane, like right in front. I have never seen so many families. Y'all, there were 8 different parents and children, like young kids, because when you start boarding a plane, they always do pre-boarding, and that means families. I am not kidding. Like stroller after stroller after stroller, obviously because they're Mormon and Mormons have kids. And like, I'm not talking one kid. I think every single person had like 2 children, and it was 8 separate families. I'm like, that is crazy. Like I've never seen this many children, babies. Of course, it was so loud. And I'm like, that's wonderful and amazing. And I love that. But I'm like, holy shit. Wow. We get on the plane and there's somebody seated next to me. This is a 3x3 or like 3 on each side. And I'm always the middle because Carter takes the aisle, and there's like a young man next to me. Well, we sit down, and then shortly after, like people are still boarding, he's like, hey, I'm going to switch seats with this guy so I can sit with my girlfriend. Like, is that okay? I'm like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Right. So we get up and I'm like, bye. And this guy who is changing or trading the seat is fully tatted head to toe tattoos, sleeves, neck, forehead, like everywhere. Right. He sits on down. I sit next to him. Carter's next to me, and he starts chatting us up. And I can immediately tell he's like, hi. Like he's speaking really loudly. His eyes are like barely open. He's very nice. Like I honestly, oh my gosh, I think he followed me on Instagram. We'll get into that. We're talking, and he's from Salt Lake City, but then he moved to California, and him and Carter are talking, and like he's really kind. He was in Dallas for like a tattoo convention. He's trying to like make it in the tattoo like big. He does crazy tattoos, he showed us, and we don't know anything about tattoos really, but he's explaining it. And then Carter asked him, he was like, what's the, vibe of tattoos in Salt Lake, because he lives in Ogden. And that's just a little bit north of Salt Lake, I think. And he's like, the Mormons are coming around because obviously Mormons are anti-tattoos. I'm sure that's in the Book of Mormon. If they can't even drink coffee, they definitely can't get a tattoo. But it's becoming more, they're changing their ways. They're definitely like modernizing the church, or maybe just being like less strict. I suppose it depends on who you ask. But he's like, actually, like, yeah, a lot of my clients, but he's talking so loudly. And then he kind of starts going in. Like, he's obviously not Mormon. I mean, he's tatted head to toe. He left the church, was raised like, and Carter said that. He's like, this is definitely a guy. We saw him, and it was 2 of his buddies. They were all tatted head to toe when we were like seated outside of the airplane, right? And he was like, oh, these are some like, not rejects, but like rejects of the church, because Carter actually has a friend, one of his family friends that they were always with. They took them to Montana. The girl is like now also tatted head to toe, and she left, and she's got like a septum piercing, and like is so far on the other end. Like that just happens, I feel like, in these hyper religious families. But anyways, he kind of low-key starts talking shit on the Mormons, this guy, as we're seated on the plane. And I shit you not, these 2 young guys are literally in the seats in front of me and Carter. They're missionaries. If you don't know what they look like, or you've never seen, they all wear long white sleeves. They have their name tag that says elder, whatever their last name is. They have a tie, typically. Like, they're always in pairs. They always have a companion, and they're probably in long pants. It depends on obviously where they're stationed, but everybody that was like coming on the plane was like saying hello to them, like all of the fellow Mormons, because like everybody's done a mission or knows somebody who's done a mission. And we gathered, we never spoke to them, but like I was listening to all of these conversations. These 2 boys, their mission was in Dallas. They literally were in Dallas County. I'm like, that's a crazy mission to go on. I one time was in the Target by us, and I saw 2 missionaries. I wonder if it was them. There's obviously more than 2 here, but everybody was like saying stuff to them, but then we were seated and talking to this man, and he's like low-key talking shit on the Mormons, and I'm like, oh, like I, say my little thing, but I'm not like saying it in front, which doesn't make it any better. Brenna, like, be nice, be a good human. And he wasn't like really going in, but he was just kind of talking about their like rules and stuff, which is like normal conversation. But like he was talking so loud because he was like high, and I just like I don't know. He just had a voice that carries similar to me, but I can be quiet. But I'm like, oh my gosh, the missionaries are like right in front of us. Like, I don't want to disrespect them. Like, what they just did in their religion is like the most noble thing ever. And like this man's just talking that shit. And Carter and I both like, Carter's the same. Of course he like agrees with what this guy is saying, but like he's not gonna loudly speak on it. Anywho, that was amazing. We stop in Salt Lake. May goes to the potty area. We get into Montana, and actually, y'all, Carter's dad was there the Friday before. Therefore, he picked us up, and then his mom was flying in like an hour after us, and we just hung out there and waited. And we go out to the house, and really it was just like fun family time. I feel bad that I don't post, but I also just like, especially when we're with family, love to be in the moment, and I don't want to be on my phone. We did so many things. We went to Glacier. We saw a big ass grizzly. I posted it in my Instagram post. Amazing, like glorious. There were also mountain goats. We saw plenty of deer. We saw no elk, no moose. We went on the Virginia Falls hike, I believe, and St. Mary's Falls. There's 2 waterfalls, Gorgina. If you're familiar with Glacier, I've done Hidden Lake, Virginia Falls, Avalanche Lake, and then we one time hiked on the west side of Lake McDonald. Anywhere you go in that park is beautiful. If you're a national parks person, it is one of the best. I think if I had to rank them right now, Yellowstone. Carter has never actually been to Yellowstone. My dad took us there when we were young. We drove, and I think we went up to Glacier in this same trip because it's not close, but like we were already in the west side of Montana. Yellowstone, it's not like beautiful in the way of like mountains, but the geysers are crazy. It's like nothing I've ever seen. The steam coming off. It's just really cool. We obviously really loved Zion, is amazing. Is the Grand Canyon a national park? Wait, can we go over the national parks? How many are there? How many national parks are there? I know that there's Big Bend in Texas, which is like an 8-hour drive, but me and Carter talked about, oh my gosh, there's 63. Don't people like go to all of them? Like that's people's bucket list, which I love that. Oh my gosh. Acadia, American Samoa, the Arches, Badlands. Oh, the Badlands. That's in North Dakota. Well, I guess they're saying it's in South Dakota. They don't even give us any credit for that. Brenna, speak. Maybe I need to do like, what's her name? I actually get this comment so much. Ashley Tisdale. She obviously was Sharpay in High School Musical, but now people always say I look like her. And I see what they're saying. Certain angles of my face, I feel like we both have dark hair now. But in High School Musical, when she goes, brr, brr, like when she preps before the thing, I feel like maybe I should start doing that before the podcast. Anyways, the Badlands, Big Bend, Biscayne, Black Canyon of the Gunnison, Bryce Canyon, Canyonlands, Capitol Reef. I'm not going to go through all of these. Holy shit, there's 64. Well, then I really haven't been to that many. But anywho, we ran a 5K. Oh my God, you guys, we did a 5K. We didn't run it because Carter's parents weren't going to run, and I wasn't going to run it on my own. We walked it, but we woke up on the 4th of July. We went into town. There's like this little town by them. I'm not going to say just for safety and privacy. It doesn't really matter. And I'm sure maybe I've said it before. I don't know how I decide what I keep private from you guys because like I share so much. And so like, I don't even understand. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying when it comes to locations. I don't really know. Oh my gosh. Speaking of, I went on a podcast yesterday. Alexis Waters. I'm jumping around so badly. She is a content creator here in Dallas. She was on The Bachelor 8 years ago on Nick Viall's season, and I just learned all of this. I didn't know prior. She reached out to me and was like, oh my gosh, you're in Dallas, you're hilarious, can you come on my pod? And I looked at some of her videos and she's hysterical. And I want to give her so much credit. She's an amazing podcaster. Like she's from Jersey. And honestly, I don't have that much experience with Jersey people, but she's like so high energy and like so chaotic in like the best way. And you can tell it's her. We were actually talking about somebody in the influencing space here in Dallas. And obviously I'm not going to say, but this person like kind of is not who they are. You can always tell when somebody is just not themselves, when they like can't fully, there are like, for example, girls that are so loud and so crazy and like Alexis, like she is so who she is. It's amazing. And then there are girls that would like try and be Alexis's personality and just like aren't, because it's like not really who they are. They just like want to be like the loud party girl. No, she is hysterical. The podcast went so fast. I don't think it was an hour long because she does it in a studio. And I know that these podcast studios you have to rent. And I think she only rented it for an hour and she got there like literally right at 1. I was there like 20 minutes early waiting on her. And this is the first time I met her, but she was incredible. I'm so excited. She's like, if you can come again, like whenever I need a guest, would you? And I'm like, of course. I feel like we might actually be friends. She's definitely like a lot. She loves to party. I think she does drugs. That's totally fine. She's married. She recently got married and is going on her honeymoon, but I'll definitely post about the podcast when it comes out. I'm honestly nervous. I feel like I was awkward. Like you guys know me. I'm typically high energy, but around her, I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's just like a weird dynamic. Like I'm used to just sitting here and chatting, like talking to somebody and going over like points and this and that. Like I feel like it was very organic, but I'm super excited to see what it's like actually played back. Anywho, let's go back to Montana. I have no idea how we got there. What else did we do? We fished. Me and Carter went over to the spot on a creek, not on the property because they do have their home on a river. We went over to like this little creek. It was the honey hole. I'm telling you, every single line that was casted, fish. We didn't get it every time, but there was nibbles. Like the bobber would go down like every single time. And then Carter went out there by himself a few days later and he's claiming that he had like a 5-pound pike. Okay, maybe not 5, but like 3 or 4, because all of the fish, if you saw my photo in my photo dump, they were like tiny. I think that was the smallest catch, but they weren't much bigger. I don't even know what kind of fish they were. But anyways, apparently Carter went out there the next day, same exact spot, was getting all of like these little fish. But then he got like a huge pike and it got to the shore and then it broke the line. I'm like, damn. It could be a lie though. Maybe he was just hyping himself up. We fished. I didn't run. I did bring my running shoes, but we were so busy. Like we would wake up and Carter's parents get up early. We would go into town and get breakfast. And then we either like, we were also doing house stuff because I'm sure I've explained this before. Carter's grandpa bought this house in like 2000. Recently in like the past year, it is now in the trust and it's passed down to the kids, right? Carter's dad and his 2 siblings. Well, they bought one sibling out and now it's just split between the 2 of them, which actually has been kind of a nightmare because imagine this, you have one sibling, right? You're splitting a property and now like grandpa used to pay for everything, like any improvements and things, but like nothing was ever really improved. It was like only if necessary. Well, now Carter's mom is like the best interior designer and like she's just good at that stuff. And like she wants to take ownership of this house, but every single cost they want to split with the other sibling, right? Because like it's split right down the middle. But like if that person doesn't deem it necessary, it's like then they're either going to spend all of their money doing it and then that person and the other people are going to reap all the benefits. It's like you can't fully, it's like having a house but like having to go through somebody else and it's like you want to improve it but it's like they don't want to spend the money and then it's just kind of hard, right? And like who deals with what? Like we went to, the reason I mentioning this is because they need a new glass door. Again, is it a need? No, but like this house is old. It's not a new house by any means. Not anything has been renovated. And we stopped by this glass store and we were picking things out. And like, I don't know if they're just paying for that themselves. Really all of the windows, like every single one of them needs to be done. They're so old, but they're just going to do it slowly but surely because they're kind of in this little pickle, if you know what I mean. Anywho, that's like so unimportant, but they're doing a lot of home stuff. And that's why Carter's dad was there earlier. He's been like they updated the washer and dryer. And I don't know. We went to this glass store and like picked out a door because Carter's dad tried to do it. But like Carter's mom is the design brain. Like if we keep letting the men design this house, like it's so funny. His mom goes in on it. She's like, this house it's like green trim and it's just all so old. And we want to keep it. I say we as if I'm a part of this. Like, you know, lake housey. Like I don't, you know, I like when a house matches where it is. Like I don't like a super modern house in like the mountains. Like I like, you know, like a log house. Like I think that's cool. And like it's on the lake. We don't need like super modern. Like that doesn't even make sense. But anywho, we did that. We would wake up, have breakfast, take out the jet skis, go fishing, go hiking. I'm trying to think if anything else. Oh, we went bowling. Carter's dad is like so sweet and fresh, and he always jokes about the bowling alley and like obviously I'm a bowler, whatever it was. He said because the 4th of July and the day after was so gloomy in Montana. I don't know if everybody else's was like this, but honestly, it was like kind of on and off rain. It was weird. And it was a gloomy day. And Carter's dad was like, why don't we go bowling? And we were like, oh my gosh, let's go. Everybody was in on it. Carter was like, I've still never seen her bowl. We go to the lanes in this small little town and it was amazing. It was so much fun. Like it was such a cute, fun thing to do. But the very last ball that Carter threw, he's probably using like a 15-pound ball and he's cranking the shit out of it, you guys. He's like cupping it and he's like really twisting it and like really trying to throw it hard. He throws this ball and let's make sure we hit the key talking points. He got a strike. Okay, he went out with a bang, but y'all, he let go of this ball and then he kind of fell to the side and I was like, oh, something just happened. He turns around, he like pulled something in his bicep. And he was done. That was it. Like it literally pained him so much. It like wasn't funny, but it was. I'm like, oh my gosh. So me and Carter's parents like finished up bowling obviously and then we left, which I think it was towards the end anyways. But Carter, like for the rest of the trip, I think we went on the 4th of July. So we were there Saturday and Sunday, but he's like, I cannot believe the bowling alley fucked up my arm. And he's asking me, he's like, did this ever happen to you? I'm like, no. We used to like rip our skin. Like I would throw so many games that my thumb would rip open, you know, the skin, but nothing like a pulled muscle. Anywho, that was amazing. Okay, I have, y'all, my notes app. It's like Montana trip, bowling, 5K, glacier, fishing, jet skiing. That was pretty much it. I really need to be better about doing content when I'm like in places. That way it's like fun and lifestyle and cute and fresh. But then I get there and I don't have any plans. And then we're always with family and we're like doing stuff. And actually the very first day, we went to a farm. There are cherry trees. There's the Flathead Lake. Okay. There's a lake called Flathead. And on the west side of the lake, there are cherry properties because Carter's dad explained this to me. Something about the weather coming in and it bouncing off of the lake, it warms it. And then the trees, like something about the way the weather is and like the lake making it warmer or colder makes the temperature just the right amount for cherry trees to grow on the west side of the lake. And therefore the cherries weren't ready yet because typically they'll be good at the end of the summer. The Carter's family has not gone to the 4th in Montana in a really long time. They used to always go when the kids were young because obviously the kids were young and like that was a time everybody has off and they would take all of their family friends. But now that we're older, the lake is always better. Number one, the 4th of July is so packed up there, obviously, because it's like the best place in the planet to be on the 4th of July. But the water's not really warm yet. Obviously, it's just coming off of the spring, kind of, you know, up in those northern parts, like the water is frozen over in the winter time. So it like takes a really long time to warm up. And, you know, the fruit isn't in season yet because again, it's the beginning of the summer, but there were some farms open. So we went to a farm, picked a bunch of like strawberries and fruit and whatever. And it's so good. But that morning, I literally, when I can, I don't take my phone places. Like if Carter and I go out to dinner, I leave my phone at home. Like I don't need it. I'm with Carter. Like what do I need it for? Well, the very first day I left my phone at home. We were just going to breakfast, but then it turned into going to the glass place. And then we went to this farm and then we stopped here. And I needed to post the Burt's Bees post that I had scheduled. And I told my manager that I was posting at noon, but we ended up being out and about and I didn't have my phone. I emailed her off of Carter's email because he had his phone. And he's like, babe, just use my phone to post. But I'm like, my posts aren't on this phone. Like, I don't have the videos. He was like, oh. He's fresh. He's always trying to find a solution. But anyways, I just never have my phone. And I encourage everybody out there to also do the same. Like, be in the moment. Of course, if you whip out your phone to like take a video or a photo, I get that. But it honestly was so nice. Like, I would just post my little drafts and then go about my day. And I loved it. It was just so wholesome. It was so nice. Carter's parents left on Saturday. We stayed Saturday night, which honestly, next time when we're there solo, we need to do it at the beginning of the trip, because at the end we were so exhausted. Like, we dropped them off at the airport and then we got back home and we actually had like a hard conversation with Carter's grandpa earlier that day, which I'm not even going to get into. And Carter was kind of like in a bad mood, and therefore we just moseyed around the house. We sat on the couch. Oh, we watched The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives reunion, and it was fine. I honestly don't have that many notes. I'm still riding for Whitney. I am like a Whitney stan, and I never understood why she was the villain. I will say I don't like, and I get where she's coming from. And again, this is reality TV. She's standing up for Demi, and I really just think that Demi is a bitch, in my opinion, and just like a mean girl. And like, she's just, I don't like her, you know, just from like what I've watched of the show. I'm sure like if I met her, she's like fine and dandy. And Whitney's like defending her. But I also think it's because Whitney was attacked. She was attacked by Demi in the first season. I digress. But she knows what it's like to like be on the other side, and I don't know, but I do really like Whitney. It was so sad. Her husband talked about being essayed as a young child. Sorry, trigger warning. That was like a really touching moment. And honestly, that's why I watched it. I'd seen so many clips online and I kind of wanted to see, but I liked the episode. I'm excited for season 3. I don't know when that comes out, maybe September, but we watched that night. Oh my gosh. Speaking of, Carter asked his parents if they had watched, because obviously they're Mormon, but like obviously they would not enjoy that show because they're like real Mormons. Well, I say that. They're like California Mormons. Like, they would never move to Utah. They do not like that culture. So like, they are very religious, but like not in the Utah way. Like, they're kind of in the best way, honestly. Like, they just like firmly believe the church, which is great, but like, they're not really into like, you know, how all the girls in Utah are like blonde and plastic surgery and like this, like, and like all of those aspects of it. Like, that's so not them, because they want to move out of California. They do not want to be in California anymore. Carter's dad, I think, just signed a contract for like 3 more years as a doctor, maybe 2 years. I'm not really sure at where he's at. And then they want to move. I don't know if they will. Obviously, like, things can change. However, I'm like, would you guys ever move to Utah? Because Carter's dad likes to hunt and fish. Obviously, that's why he's in Montana all of the time. But Carter's mom was like, no, like, neither of us want to be in Utah. But Utah has mountains. It has hunting. It's like the Mormon culture. I thought they would enjoy that, but they were like, heck no, like, that's so not our thing. And I was like, oh, interesting. I don't know where they would end up, but where I was going with that is that Carter had seen when he was home one time that Secret Lives of Mormon Wives had been started, and he asked his mom, he's like, Mom, did you watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? And she's like, no. And then Carter's dad was like, I watched a little bit of it. And we were like, what? Because when I tell you guys, like, Carter's dad is like, I feel he would be like anti-reality TV, like in general, not even the Secret Lives of, like, he's just an interesting, like, he's just a very like Mormon religious man. Like, he has never cussed. He has never drank alcohol. He has never had coffee. Like, he is like perfect. He's like never done anything wrong. And I feel like he would judge, you know, others. Not that he outwardly does it, but I don't know. I'm projecting that onto him. And he's like, yeah, I wanted to like see what it was about. And then he just starts going in on how all of the girls are just like desperate for attention and so on and so forth. And I'm like, I'm like, if I got asked to be on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which I wouldn't, but like a reality TV show, I do it. I'm like, you're talking a lot of shit right now, and I feel like I kind of resonate with these people. But I kept my mouth shut. I was like, you're so right. Yup. Anywho, we come back. We have smooth sailing with Maydog all the way home, and we're back in action Monday, y'all. It rolls around and we get an email that we didn't get the townhome that I told you about last week. And what the email says, I'll pull it up. Okay, it's really not that important, but basically somebody applied before us. Like, I don't even understand. And they told our realtor that we were first in line. And I talked to her and she's like, yeah, they totally made it seem. She's like, I feel like maybe they knew the person who applied, like something happened, because she's like, when I asked them, where is this email? Anyways, I don't know where it is. It doesn't really matter. They just said that somebody got in their application before us and they got the unit. They're starting the leasing with them. And we're like, fuck. Naturally, Carter's stressing. Carter's like, not okay. He's like, what do we do? And there's this townhome that I found a little while back on the little list that is older. And I held off on bringing it up because I was scared that Carter wouldn't like it. It's literally the townhome that we applied for before was like 0.5 miles away from us now, and this one is also like a half a mile in the opposite direction, still in the location. The location is like prime, but it's older. However, y'all, so Monday we get the email and I'm like, fuck. So I'm like looking around, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that, I'm like, oh, we need to figure this out. It's like literally less than a month away, and I knew this would happen, but naturally, if it were just me, I wouldn't be that stressed, but like I feel Carter stressed and I know he just wants to get it figured out. And I do too, but like I'm more just go with the flow. Well, Tuesday, I meet Melissa, our realtor, at this property. I just walk on over there. I'm like, I would really like to see it. I know that it looks old. I know that the windows aren't that big. Like it kind of goes against what we've been saying, but the location is prime. It's a little bit cheaper than the last one. It's still expensive and I don't even want to go into that. That's been a battle that I've been like kind of struggling with, just like going up in price quite a bit, but it is what it is for what we want. This is the reality. We make the money. It's, you know, at least a third under our income. Like we're fine. It's just like so hard to look at this number and be like, oh my God, we're just like paying this money. However, I go and tour and I love it. And I knew I would love it. I've walked past these a million times in my life because I've walked around Dallas every which street a million times. And I love, like they're older and let me explain. It's kind of the exact same layout because all of these townhomes are the same. You have the double garage, then, okay, but there's the double garage on one side and then it has a front door on the other side and it's kind of like tucked away. So it's super private. Nobody can see me other than like our direct neighbors. It's right by the kiddie trail. Like it's perfection. Well, you walk in the front door, there are little hooks, a little entryway. There's a bedroom downstairs, a full bedroom. So it's a bedroom and a full bath. Then there is a closet. There's like this little hallway and then the garage. Then you go up the stairs. You take a right. There is the kitchen and the living room and that's it. And y'all, the living room is huge. I think the townhome is like it's over 2,000 square feet. Okay, the last one we looked at was like 1,500. Like this is huge, which it has a roof as well and the roof is big. So I wonder if that's, but no, I feel like the layout itself is big. But anyways, the living room is ginormous. So we're getting really excited. We need to stop because we haven't even been approved. I did put in our applications last night. I'll get into that. But the living room is ginormous. And then there's a kitchen, there's a pantry, and there's a half bath. Then you go back, you go up the stairs. And actually, you guys, so the stairs from the very bottom go up. There's a landing. And then the next stairs are right there. So when you're looking from like either the top or the bottom, it just looks like one huge staircase. Like it just goes in order, which is kind of crazy. However, not that big of a deal. You go up to the third floor. There's an office. It's tiny. Like you couldn't really fit a bed in there. It's got cabinets on the end, which are kind of random. Again, like the finishes are weird. Like the downstairs, the bedroom is dark. It's like a dark blue, I think. The hallway has weird. Then you go up. There's like this accent wall where the TV will go. It's like black, but the kitchen is like a light wood. And then they have like these really modernized lights and chandeliers, like crystal glass, like very modern, but like it just doesn't fit. But I'm like, what the fuck ever? Who cares? It's a rental. Anywho, you go upstairs, there's the office. That will probably be my filming room because it has a pocket door. I think most of the doors are pocket doors, and therefore like I could just set up my camera and my chair and like that'll be my little filming space. I think it'll be perfect. I'll get some lights, that'll be great. You go down the hallway, there is doors to the washer and dryer, and then you go to the master bedroom. It's big. It's kind of long. So I think there will be room at the end. I don't know what we'll do with that. The bathroom, again, older finishes, but it has a walk-in shower, a tub, like a big old jacuzzi tub, double vanity with like pantry kind of linen doors, and then the water closet where the toilet is with like a separate door, and then at the back end is like a huge walk-in closet. It's like not big, but there's tons of shelving. It's tall. It's like walk-in. That'll also be May's bedroom, and then that's that. Then you come back out. Then there are more stairs up in a different place where you go to the roof, and there's like a huge rooftop area. There's like one area that's like gated, and then you can walk out onto the other part. It's like ginormous, and we're like in the heart of uptown or downtown or whatever you want to call it, the heart of the city. And I'm so excited, and I hope we get it. I think we're the only applicant, and they still need to verify our rental history. They sent an email this morning. They're like, we need to hear back from where you live now and so on and so forth. But like, I'm praying and hoping that we get it. It's amazing. I love it. Like, I'm so excited. I'm like trying to already plan. We might go couch shopping this weekend. I'm just excited to be in a new space, a new location. Like, again, it's like literally not even a half a mile from where we are, but like in the city, that's a big difference. Like, it's different coffee shops, and it's different like things that we're close to, and we're close to a couple of like fast casual restaurants that I really love, that I'm really excited about. And yeah, so fingers crossed, you guys, next Friday, hopefully we will have, you know, the okay that we're moving in. Oh, I'm so excited. I hope we get it. We better fucking get it. Anywho, like, I'm way more excited about this one than I was the last one. Like, the last one, I liked the location, but like it was actually more modern, but like I just didn't really vibe. I kind of like the homey feeling of this one. Like, it's big. I like the different colors. Like, I don't really necessarily love the dark, but like it just feels homier. It's really quiet because number one, we're not on a main road. And number two, like, I think because it's an older build, the structure is just more sound, if that makes sense. I'm really freaking excited. Anywho, what else is going on? Y'all, I'm almost done with Kristen Hanna's The Winter Garden. I didn't read at all in Montana. By the time we got to the end of the day, I was exhausted and I didn't read at all. And on the plane, I tried to read. I did a lot better coming back, but like I'm always checking on May and I'm like so ADD. And on the Delta flights, they have the screens. And on the way there, I got stuck playing solitaire and I like could not stop. Which is so dumb. But anywho, I've been reading every night and I've been loving it. It's about, you know, it's historical fiction. If you've never read that, it's like scary at first, but Kristen Hanna does such a good job at like making it a story. Like, it's like teaching you so much about history, but like without even trying. Like, it's just a beautiful story. Amazing. Obsessed. Love it. What else? Oh, can we talk about Amazon Prime Day really quickly? And I want to talk about being an influencer really quickly. I know recently I've had ad after ad after ad. It just so happened that they all needed to be posted at the same time. I have nothing now in the near future, but they kind of just like pop up. Like the Microsoft ad that I did, I like heard about that and then I had to post it like the very next week. So things will pop up. I did partner with Runna, y'all. I finally spoke and downloaded the Runna app, and I'm actually so upset that I'm not sure if Runna was around when I started running, but it is the perfect app for beginner runners. Like, I feel like when I couldn't even run a quarter mile, if I had Runna, like, it gives you so much information, you guys. It tells you what pace you should be going. It like structures your workout so well. Yesterday, I did this like 400 repeats, but it tells you like, okay, warm up, conversational pace, no faster than 12:05. Okay, 90-second walk, 0.25 at a 9:35 pace. So it breaks down like how quick. Then at the bottom, like from Coach Ben, for the first 400, aim for around 85% of your best effort. Like, it gives you all of these tips. It has the calendar. It sends you notifications. It says 87 days until the race. It has like support groups. There's community. So like people that are also running your race or doing other things. And I just love it. I think it actually was started by the Strava people, and I love Strava. Strava is like a social media app for runners. You can like show your runs, and it's amazing. I'm partnering with them. So like basically, I think it's a couple videos and stories that I'll do, but like it makes so much sense. And now that I have it, I'm not doing the like ChatGPT one, which actually it's kind of like similar-ish. Like again, running training plans are going to be like the same idea. Like my brother creates his own because people that know running like know how to do that. But that's why I'm saying for beginners, like I have no idea how to do that. Like I would consider myself a beginner in most senses of the word when it comes to running and like that kind of thing. I just don't know that much, and it's amazing. And it talks about recovery and like if you want to lift, like what days would be best to do that. I have a code. It's Brenna. It'll give you 2 weeks free of the premium, and I'm so excited to be working with them. And I will wear like a Runna tank, I think, when I run the 10K, but they're amazing. I had a call with them yesterday, and they're based out of London, and actually the whole team was there. They're doing like a team thing in Lisbon, Portugal. Is Lisbon in Portugal? I think it is, but I'm so excited about it. And I will have those. I think though, you know, that'll be sporadic and like not that crazy, but I do recognize that like my ads have been back to back to back, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But I also want you guys to know, and this is where I can speak freely, I didn't make money on social media for essentially until right now. Like literally no money. TikTok view, like a little bit of money from TikTok, the creator fund, but like brand deals, you guys know I've like barely done any, and I want it to be like normal and like not crazy, but I do need to make money to like continue to just like make content in general, obviously. And I know that you guys get it, but I'm like really conscious of that. And I was like, oh, these are kind of back to back to back. And then the Amazon Prime Day sale, I'm like, oh, I'm like shilling out these links, but I'm also like, if you want to buy something, buy something. And I have really been liking all of the things I've gotten. Basically everything that I own, you can get on Amazon. And if it's on sale, like, you know what I mean? I get it. I'm just like, here's the thing. When it comes to influencers influencing, like, I hope you know that you don't need to buy anything. Like, you guys know that's always my philosophy. Like, I'm just here to recommend products. Like, and if you buy it, you buy it. And if you don't, you don't. I will never talk about something that I don't actually enjoy. The wrist weights, the lip stain, my hatch, like literally everything I use, my skincare products, my Stanley. I literally have it right here. My BrewMate. Like, I will only talk about things that I enjoy. Really quickly, I'm going to take a sip now that we're talking about it. However, I hope that it's like never annoying. Just know that you can just like click through. But I am trying to also do my job as an influencer because my best friend Jillian is like, there needs to be proof of like influencing to get brand deals. So there's like this happy medium. I just like never did these things for so long, and therefore like I'm just like finding my new rhythm. You guys will understand. I know you always get me. However, I wanted to speak on that, and I think that's it. Now I need to get into questions. Yo, I totally forgot to do it last Friday. Is that all I had? Wait, coming up tonight, I have a dinner with JS Health, which is a vitamin brand. They're doing a dinner at Paradiso. I'm sure you guys have seen the vitamins. It's like that white bottle with like the square and it just says JS Health. They have like some bloat and detox. They have like a hair vitamin. So many. This dinner is with the founder. I think her name is Jess Sapel. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but she's going to be there, which I love when the founder, CEO is there, because I'm so fascinated by CEOs. I'm like, how did you start this? But I have that tonight. And then this weekend, we have not much. We're just trying to get approved for this townhome. I think we might go look at couches. And I think that's really it. We have no plans. We next week have nothing. Oh, Carter thought we had a dinner for his work, but that's the following week. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let me get into the questions. Wait, did I want to say anything else about the Amazon Prime Day sale? I'm just like going to post on my Instagram story again today. It's the final day, Friday, if you're listening. So if you wanted to buy anything, the CRZ, I'm literally wearing my set right now. I actually threw sweatpants on over my shorts, but they're only 15% off. But again, if you've ever thought about buying them, I would go on there and buy those. Yeah, that's all I have. Okay, let me get into your guys' questions and then that'll be it. I think I only have 4 and I apologize to everybody who left these prior to last Friday. I like totally spaced, which who shocked? Not me. Okay, let's begin. Brenna, first off, I just want to say I love your content. You are helping so many girls build their self-confidence. Thank you. My dilemma is I have been dating my boyfriend for about 2 years. I'm 22 and we live together. My issue is I feel like I'm dating 2 different people. I love him more than anything, but he has some crazy anger issues. He has called me names and said some pretty hurtful things. He yelled at me in public and degraded me and talked to me in a way no one ever has. Also slamming stuff, but has just justified his actions because he's never hit me. That being said, he has also been the most loving and caring person. He handles my anxiety well, treats me like an absolute queen, and I don't understand how this same person who makes me feel so safe is also the one who makes me the most afraid. I don't know what to do. A lot of stuff is correlated with his childhood trauma and seems to have more anger burst when drinking, but I don't know what to do. He's trying to change and has acknowledged some of his actions and says he will do better and understands it's wrong to do what he's done. I don't know if I should wait to see if he will change because things have gotten better since the beginning. I think I'm so lost because of how much I love him. I don't want to be without him. I could really use some advice. Give it to me. No sugarcoating. I need it. Thanks so much. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I'm so sorry if this is so late. Here's the thing. Is he open to going to therapy? Because the one side of me, which I'm sure will not be shocked to hear, it's like, okay, if these things don't get better, like this could be really bad because it could turn physical and like that's horrible. And like the more time you spend in something like this, I understand he's never hit you, but like the acting out, the bursting out, like, name calling. Oh yeah, maybe the fact that he's called you names and said mean and degrading things, like that is like never okay. That is not okay. And if you love somebody, you don't do that. Sorry, I kind of like choked. However, I do understand things are nuanced and you guys are really young. If you're both 22, I would say therapy. And if he's not open to it, I would highly consider getting out of there because you can only do so much yourself. And with something like that, childhood trauma and like the bursting of like anger, that is never going to get cleared up on his own. And how does that change as you go on? Like he's already called you names. I just feel like that's so bad. He's called me names and said some pretty hurtful things, yelled at me in public. But then sometimes he, you're saying that he makes you feel safe in all of this, but he also has taken it out on you. And I don't think that's ever okay. And I think he probably has a lot of growing up to do. I don't always want to be like break up because, people can change and like we've all been, maybe not our best selves at times before therapy or just like when we were younger, but I would say therapy or get the hell out of there because like that's not okay. It's not okay that he calls you names. It's not okay that he yells at you, and it will only progress if he doesn't get help. And even if he does get help, I would say it could still not be great. 2 years and 22, but you're so young. Like the other part of me wants to say you can break up and like meet somebody else because you're so young. Like I definitely would not get engaged to this man in at least 3 more years. Like I would wait until you're 25. Like again, this is all me as a 28-year-old telling you this. I would say you live together. That makes it hard. The more things that you guys have together, the harder it's going to be for yourself just emotionally to break up. And therefore, I think you need to act quickly with the recommending of therapy and having that conversation with him because I really don't think that that's going to get better if he doesn't. And if he knows it's wrong, like I just don't, it's hard for me to understand because I've never really name called and like been that person. And like, if you love somebody, you wouldn't do that. But I do understand childhood trauma. Like, I'm trying to give him a little bit of grace, but like, when does it stop? Those are kind of my thoughts. I also think that maybe you could get a therapist. I like recommend it. I know it's expensive. I've never even gone to therapy, but I feel like maybe somebody like that would be better to talk to about this. Like, I'm trying to give the best, most sound advice. It's just like, who am I to say? Like, I would hate to break up people. It's not like he's treating, like, the way he has treated you when it's not been good, it's not good. But of course there's love, like, but are you justifying it? Like, is it more good than bad or more bad than good? You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to stand firm in what I said, that he needs to be open to like therapy, because I don't think he can change these things on his own if it is like childhood trauma and that sort of thing. Because I get it. Like, he could have been raised with a dad who yells and screams. Like, I don't want to say, like, if I were to say that every person with childhood trauma that like acts out and does things like can't be a good partner ever, like, people wouldn't end up together. Like, we've all been in bad places. We've all learned bad behaviors. We've all, I'm sure there are plenty of women out there who have screamed at past partners and like been nasty. And like, it could be age, it could be childhood trauma, it could be all of these things combined. But those are my thoughts. Please message me. I feel for you. That's really hard. You are really young. And I know when you're young and you hear that, like, I'm trying to think if somebody said that to me at 22 years old, you're like, I'm not that young. But it's like, that is really young to be living together. And I would just say, do not advance the relationship more than you already have without like him getting actual help and seeing improvement. But I would just be cautious, and also just know, like, there are so many people out there, and this is probably one of your first boyfriends. Maybe you had a high school boyfriend, maybe you had another boyfriend before this, but like, that's it. And you really haven't experienced that much. Most people haven't at 22. And I would just trust your gut and do what you think. I feel like if you're writing in, you're really conflicted about this. And I feel like whenever I've been in that place, and also it's really hard to come back from things like that. Like, when he's said mean things and like done these things, out in public and yelled at you, it's like really hard to look past that. For me, like, I don't know if I'd be able to like really trust that person again. And like, those negative like thoughts, like, Carter has never said a mean thing to me. And again, like, nobody's gonna be perfect. Me and Carter also met at 26 years old, so we were very more mature, you know what I mean? But like, if he had called me a name or something, like, I think I would hold on to that. And I just feel like that's also a bad place to be. And I don't know. Those are kind of my thoughts. Okay, next, message me and we can talk some more. Okay. I recently found out that I tested positive for herpes type 2 and have no symptoms associated with it. I am female, 29, and I have a boyfriend, 31. Back in 2021, I had gotten the same positive test result, but when I got more blood work done, it came back negative. So I didn't think I had anything I needed to worry about. Flash forward to now, I've been with my boyfriend for a little over 2 years. He's incredibly loving and a top tier man. In the past, he has voiced concerns over his fear of catching an STD, which I understand. No one wants to say they have an STD. And as soon as we started dating, I went to get tested to make sure that there was nothing to worry about on my end, and all tests came back negative. I've been reading up on herpes too. Lots of sites assure you that you can still live a healthy and normal life, but I am still freaking out over telling him my diagnosis. I know that I have to tell him, and I'd like to think that he will be understanding, but I'm just so worried that his reaction might not be that, and he will end up breaking up with me. Anytime we've needed to have hard talks, he's been level-headed, calm, and provided a safe space. The fear of losing him is killing me. Brenna, how would you bring this up in conversation with Carter if you were in my place? Thanks so much in advance. Your content has helped me so much through a lot of relationship things. Hello, I love you. This is so hard. And obviously I've never had conversations like this with Carter, but there have been things I am so sorry, y'all, been things in our past where I think he's like very headstrong. Like, for example, the townhome, which is like so stupid, but like I've been scared to bring things up because like I think I know what he already thinks and I'm scared of what he might say. And then he has never given me a reaction other than like level-headed and calm and like conversational. And so I feel like even though he said that in the past, because Carter has said things in the past where he seems like so, you know, one-sided about it, and I like feel like he feels very strongly, and then actually he's not, and he like just said that on a whim in the past. And I feel like if your partner has been like very level-headed and calm in hard conversations before, I think he'll also come at this conversation that same way, and you're probably just building it up in your head, which is like so normal, and I would do the exact same thing. But I would just like lay it out on the table. I would say, I just had this appointment. I don't know how or why, but I just got this positive type 2 herpes like test result, and I know that in the past you said, but I feel like it's important for you to know, and if you want to get checked. And then I would just like bring all the information. I feel like you have to mention it to him, obviously, and it's either one of two things. Like, I am, you know, certain that and hopeful, I suppose, that he'll be normal and be like, oh my gosh, because how does this happen? You said back in 2021 I had the same positive test. Can you like carry it for a while? Because like, how else would you have gotten another positive test if not you got it from him? Again, I'm not super well versed in STDs, but like clearly this is like something out of your control. You've been with him and you were negative when you guys started the relationship. So like, either it's something that can sit dormant in you or you got it from him, right? Which then that's kind of on him. You know, if he got tested prior to your relationship, do you get what I'm saying? Not on him, but like, did he make sure that he was not negative or like not positive when he came into the relationship? Anywho, that doesn't really matter. You bring it up, you have this conversation, and I'm hopeful. And like, you know, from what you've said, I think he'll have a fine reaction, or he won't. Okay. And you need to be prepared for that. But like, if that is something he's going to break up with you over, like something that's out of your control and like happened and it just is what it is, and he's going to break up with you over that, that's fine. And those are his boundaries, but like, that's not the person for you. And I know you love him, and I know that's like a scary thing to think about, but like, I cannot tell you enough. It's like any hard conversation that girls have to have with their partners. Like, if they're willing to break up with you over whatever the thing is, like that is just straight up not your person. Like, I cannot say that enough, because a normal person who loves you would be like, you know, no biggie, let me go get tested. And like, how can we, you know, make sure this is negative? Like, I don't know the ins and outs of STDs and herpes and all of that, but like, let's make sure we take care of it and move on. Like, if Carter came to me and was like, he had herpes too, like whatever that looks like, of course, a person's initial reaction, because there's also like this stigma around STDs is like, oh no, like what the fuck? Like, if Carter came to me, I'd be like, hello, like that's not ideal. But like, Carter is my person. I'd be like, okay, what do we need to do? Is there medications we need to take? I'll go get tested. Like, how do we prevent ourselves from like, you know, this getting worse, or like next steps? Like, this wouldn't be something that, obviously we're engaged, but like regardless, at any point in our relationship, if this happened before, it would be a hard conversation, and like anybody's initial reaction might not be good, but like once you talk through it and like figure it out, that would never deter the person for you. And those are my thoughts. Again, I apologize that I got to this late. Please let me know. I'm sure you might have already talked to him, and I'm sure everything's already fine, but let me know. My DMs are always open. Not already, always. Next. Should I keep the apartment I once lived in with my ex? My ex and I were living together for 2 years before we decided to break up. I moved back in with my parents, and he continued to live in the apartment. My name is still on the lease, and he informed me recently that he is going to be moving out at the end of August. I adored this apartment and was very sad to move out. The location was ideal in close proximity to a lot of things. Rent is $1,700 for a 1-bedroom, which in New York City these days is unheard of, and part of me really wants to move back in. However, I am in a new relationship now and have been for about 2 years. While part of me wants the apartment back, another part of me thinks I should just start over somewhere new since I hope my boyfriend and I now would live together. As I said, before I move back in with my parents and they're not charging me rent and I am just paying for bills. There's a benefit to staying home since I'm able to save money. At the same time, I miss having my own space and privacy. Brenna, what do? I'd be moving back into that apartment. I'm not sentimental at all. I'd say, give me the apartment, because what else is going to happen? My ex and I were living together for 2 years before we decided to break up. You've been with this new person though for 2 years. How do you still have this apartment? Like, how long is the lease? Who's going to pay the $1,700? Can he get rid of it? Can you guys break the lease? Because then I would say just do that. Just be done with it. Well, actually though, if it's $1,700 in New York City, I would move into it. You can make it your own. You can make it fun and fresh and cute and fun. Right, $1,700 for a one bed. If it's in New York City, like that's unheard of. And maybe your boyfriend could move in there. I get that's maybe weird, but like this is life. Like you guys will create your own new memories. Like as long as you're not hurt by that. If it were me, I would move into that apartment. I would say fuck my parents, because I would hate living at home. Like I get it, you're saving a lot of money. And if money's tight right now, then definitely just stay home. Like I think it's worth it in the long run to not have to pay $1,700 if you're trying to save and so on. But if you have those funds, like if you make 3 times the rent or whatever that is, they just generally, like in Dallas, you need to be accepted into an apartment. You have to make 3 times the rent. I didn't say that correctly, but you know what I'm saying? But like just in general, financially speaking, like they say that your rent should never exceed 1/3 of your income. And if you make that, like, I think here's the thing. There are things like it's great to save money, but if your mental health is bad, which you're not saying that, but like living with your parents and not having privacy, like there's a cost, like it's getting taken off somewhere. Like, yes, if you move out, you have to spend $1,700, but like your mental health will be better and you'll like have a different life and might have more fun. You know what I'm saying? I would move into the apartment. Unless you can break the lease, then maybe you could find a different place. But honestly, maybe it's better to just get that price in New York City. Those are my thoughts. Okay, last but not least, you guys. Hi, Brenna. I hope you're doing well and enjoying your summer. Your podcasts are very inspirational and they definitely help a lot of people who are going through friendship situations or having difficulties with relationships or trying to have an open mind when it comes to finding new friendships, as well as getting through some of the struggles with mental health and how to overcome struggles with mental health. You are definitely a positive and encouraging impact on the world. So I hope you continue to do this podcast the next several years of your career. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I needed that. There are 2 things that I wanted to mention specifically. One of them being struggling to date or find the right guy to hopefully marry in the future in your 20s. How do you know when you found the guy that you want to spend the rest of your life with? That's a loaded question, but I'll keep going. And then my second question is where to find a good set of friends that you can trust, that will have your back and that will always give you great advice throughout life and that you can always have fun going on trips. This is a loaded question. Here's the thing. Here's my honest advice on the dating part. I personally believe that you need to go on a lot of dates. I think it's better if you go on a lot of dates. You meet different people, you see what you like, you date around, maybe you go on 3 dates, like not even to date men and see what they're like, but for yourself. I think I learned so much about myself, like dating. And then I think also with age, like the older I got, I just became more sure of myself in general. It has a way more to do with you than it has to do with the other person. Like we all know what kind of guy we kind of want, right? There's like variables that can change, but like you want somebody who's honest, who's loyal, who's kind, who's this, that, and the other, like the general characteristics. And like, you'll know that in a man right away. Like you can date a guy for a month and like, you'll know if he's honest, like if he's good on his word, if he plans dates, I think also the most important thing is effort. If he's putting in effort, I think that's a really good sign. I don't really subscribe to the like, if you know, you know, because it's just something that people say because like they found their person. It's a choice that you're making. And that's why I think you need to date around and meet multiple people. And like when I met Carter, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so different. And this man is like so honest and so loyal and so himself as well. Like he knows himself so well and know what he wants in this life. And we have the same like goals and compatibility, which we're all going to change. Like our lives are like so long and we're going to become different people, but like I'm choosing Carter. And yeah, that's my advice on that. Is that good advice? And how do you make friends? I think this is also a process. I think you just need to have multiple friends and like you'll find your people. Like Natalie, for instance, is like, and I hate if any of my other friends are listening, but like she is like my for sure ride or die, we met. It was so random. We didn't even end up working at the same place together. Like we trained and then she left, but we hung out a few times. And of course, right away, like I didn't know she was going to be my best friend. Like I loved her, but like throughout the years, it has just gotten stronger and stronger. And I also feel like with your long-term friendships, you kind of also have to have the same compatibility like a partner. Like Natalie is like me in the way where she's not an introvert. She's definitely an extrovert, but like likes to be in. She's a homebody. She also has met her person and is engaged. Like I think, you know, you have going out friends and you have these friends, but like your friend for life, like if you're a go out person, your friend is also going to be a go out person more than likely. But we also have just like different pockets of friends. But I think it's just meeting people and spending time and like also building the relationship. Like me and Natalie now have so much history and that is my bitch. Like there is no way Natalie is not my very good friend. I was going to say best friend. Like, what if we move across the country? Like, we will always be friends. There's like not a doubt in my mind about it. And I've had close friends in the past where I'm not that close with now, but like they also served a moment in time. I think what matters is who you have in your life now and people you can trust and go to and hang out with and feel good about yourself. Like, that's all that matters. Like, in our heads, we always like build up this idea like we want the friend that we've been friends with for 100 years, and that's great and fine and dandy. But it's like, who's there for you right now? Because like who knows what could happen in the future. Like you could move to a different country, like somebody, you know, could go through like a really hard life challenge. Like there are so many things that can happen, but I think just prioritizing like being a good friend, also that's like my best advice for relationship and friendships. Like, are you being a good partner? Are you being a good friend? Because I think that also then affects, obviously it affects your relationships, but I think we also set the tone, like our relationship with ourselves for our relationship with other people. And I think the more you work on yourself and get to know you and spend time with yourself, your relationships with other people, friends, family, romantic, will get better as well. Okay, you guys, I blab for forever. I'm going to cut you off here. I'm going to cut myself off here. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are the best. I love updating you guys. These are my favorite. Friday episodes are the best. They're my favorite to film. They're my favorite to upload. I love it. But thank you again. I hope you guys have the best weekend. It's hot as fuck here in Dallas. So if you're in a hot state, stay indoors. I think it's hot everywhere actually at this point. But anywho, have the best weekend and I'll see you on Monday. Okay. Bye guys.